So while we're chatting, I guess I'll also throw in a little snowblower thing. You'll remember that I was never entirely happy with the way the chute was mounted to the thing, but it was quick and it worked, and I just did it. So I'm getting this thing ready to probably sell, free up some space, and Florida's winters are much better. So what I did is I had clamped these together, and then used some wood screws to go through the Lazy Susan bearing into that, right? And so these actually didn't work very loose. I mean, they actually couldn't have come out because they would have hit the other thing, but they did work a little bit loose, and it's just not a great setup. Like if I'm going to be selling this thing, I want it to be solid and not have any problems. So what I did was, now I'm pretty happy with the way these two mount together. I took the inner ring that I had left from when I cut this out, and I right now it's just kind of tacked back in here. I welded it across the bottom. I'm going to put some more plating down here because, I mean, this is fairly thick, but I want it to be even more rigid, and I'll end up putting some trusses in. And I added some standoffs that are welded right to... So basically, in order to line this up, which is not the easiest thing in the world, so I made those 4-threaded inserts out, the 4-threaded standoffs. I screwed them right to the Lazy Susan bearing, and then I mounted them over that little piece of ring, right? And kind of lined it up so it was really concentric, like really, really close. And then I tack welded them in, and then I welded the inner ring to, the gear, and I'll be reinforcing all of that. But at least what we have now is a very sturdy, very concentric mount. Like I might not even need this spring setup anymore because we're going to be so concentric, because it was easy to align this way, I believe, To the best of my abilities, it really does look pretty good though. And we know that it's concentric to the gear actually because it was cut out from the inside of the gear. And that's the only part that matters, is that the Lazy Susan of the gear. We don't care about the blower itself, actually. Anyway, so now we have a good solid mount for this. We're going to be mounting it down there. It'll actually be easier to disassemble as well. So, yeah, we're going to keep playing with this, but we're on a good path with that. Like, this is clarity, good solid design. Although, if they don't, it has to kind of be in a heated garage, because I'm going to put like a rubber over it as well to protect it, because I don't want water and stuff getting in there, and load it with oil. Grease might get too thick and, present too much of a friction thing in the winter, in the freezing cold. So really, it's best if this, and you have batteries too. So really, this really should be stored in a warm garage. I know not everybody has that, and you're almost spoiled too around here, but I suppose if you're dropping $3,000 on a snowblower, you might be able to spoil, but anyway. Let's see, what else was it? Oh, and I might include 2 of these bearings, because, the forces, I mean, there's not really force out here, but what if you were trailering it, right? And the wind is buffeting on this the whole time. Like, you don't want too much pressure going into that one row of bearings. So a second one would actually be not a bad idea. I'm not going to say mandatory, but not a bad idea. All right. I guess that's it. So this is part 1. I don't want these to get too long. We'll keep going with that project. It should be interesting. Also, I'm now selling build videos, which are this. All the intricate details were included in me. I got those on eBay, and I have the Snowblower itself on eBay too, actually. So if anyone's interested, check those out. All right. You will be back next video with more on that.